Hey guys, I'm RavenBane, and today we're going to discuss Silksong a bit, because it's been too long without talking about it, and I think we have a bit of an interesting discussion today that talks about some great Hollow Knight content and ties it into Silksong. Now remember, this isn't a lore video, this is just telling you why a character or group of characters won't be in Silksong. If you want the lore for this, check out Mossbag's lore video on the subject, it's amazing. Obviously, Hollow Knight was an incredible game with some great content, and since almost everyone who's watching this loves the majority of the game and all the great characters, we all want to see most of our favorite great characters featured yet again in Silksong. Now, for so many of these awesome characters, we have some pretty compelling evidence or good reasons that these characters could appear in Farloom. I've heard this for so many characters, from Bretta to Quirrell to Mr. Mushroom, and so many more NPCs. And hopefully we will see a lot of these characters, even if they just have some minor cameos in Silksong. But one group of characters, as amazing as they are, I can assure you will not be in Silksong. I am of course mentioning the Grimm Troupe. The Grimm Troupe were added in a DLC of the same name in 2017, and were a pretty amazing addition to the game, adding 2 new incredible boss fights that were packed with amazing music, awesome action, and some gorgeous art and atmosphere. Also, we got the Unbreakable charms, which are so important to any run of Hollow Knight, and it's shocking that these weren't in there at that point. But like I said, this DLC was quite crucial in playing the game, as you get the extra charm notch and the Unbreakable charms. This DLC also added tons of extra hours of amazing content, where you got to re-explore some of the awesome map that you haven't seen in 40 plus hours, and a lot of fun fights, including, by far, the greatest fight in any game ever. Nightmare King Grimm, an insanely difficult dance of flame that crowns you as a master of this game. Now, these characters clearly weren't beloved in the game, and based off of what we know of the Grimm Troupe, it seems sort of logical that we would see these guys in Farloom, but we won't. Let's start with the first argument that people make when they're talking about the Grimm Troupe appearing in Silksong. The Grimm Troupe is a sort of traveling circus, as they travel from kingdom to kingdom across whatever world Farloom and Hallownest are on. This is how the troupe stays alive, as they consume the flames from these kingdoms they travel to, allowing them to both feed the child and then to burn the father as part of their ritual. The Grimmkin feed off of the flames of the dead kingdom, as dead kingdoms have many more forgotten nightmares for them to feed to the heart of the ritual. Now, this is where the first reason we won't see the Grimm Troupe in Silksong comes into play. Farloom is not a dead kingdom like Hallownest was. Farloom is actually quite a lively kingdom, which is quite the opposite of dead. There's still much civilization and culture present in Farloom, but the kingdom is just haunted, meaning that there are significantly less nightmare flames to feast on. And also, since the kingdom isn't dead, the Grimm Troupe won't have to cleanse the kingdom, which is one of the end results of the ritual. That means having the Grimm Troupe's ritual in Farloom would be essentially pointless, but it still doesn't confirm that we won't see them. We'll get to that in a second. Next, we have to talk about how to summon the Grimm Troupe. In Hollow Knight, the only way to summon the troupe is by striking the Sycophant Prayer, or, as we know him, the Grimm Troupe Husk in the Howling Cliffs, with the Dream Nail, which then allows you to light the Nightmare Lantern, summoning the Grimm Troupe into Hallownest. And of course, quite quickly, we get a problem for Silksong. We aren't going to get a Dream Nail. This is pretty obvious from looking at Silksong's trailers and the feature list. While Hollow Knight was a game made all about facing the dreams and nightmares of a kingdom, and Team Cherry made it quite clear that this was the intent, Silksong isn't, and since it doesn't have the reliance on dreams, we won't be able to tether the real world to the nightmare realm and summon the troupe to Farloom. Obviously, the troupe can be summoned by other methods than what we see in Hollow Knight, which seems pretty rare, because you really don't expect your servant to die. So, if there was a member of the troupe in Farloom, it would possibly be possible for them to be summoned to the kingdom and start the ritual there. But like I said earlier, Farloom is not a dead kingdom, so the troupe members would not be able to harvest as many flames or be able to feed the child as much. Also, it would seem that Hornet is incapable of completing the ritual, as the vessel for the ritual would need to be able to access the Dream Realm to be able to fight the Nightmare Heart and gather the flames, as these all are objects that exist not in the real world, but in the Dream Realm. A dance of Hornet versus Grimm would be quite amazing, but based on what I said above, I can almost guarantee you that we won't see Grimm or any of his lackeys taking part in the ritual in the next game, which is too bad considering how amazing they were, and that, like I said, a Hornet versus Grimm fight would be incredible. Anyways, please subscribe to stay up to date for more Hollow Knight and Silksong content. I'm RavenBane, and see you guys soon.